As the sun dipped behind the desolate hills, casting shadows over the encampment, the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron. Their hearts burdened by the pangs of hunger, they remembered the bounty of Egypt, lamenting, "Would that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt." Exodus chapter 16 verse 3. The air was thick with despair as they recalled the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic they had left behind. In their discontent, they failed to see the unfolding tapestry of God's divine plan that lay beneath the surface of their struggles, and that night, as they settled into their tents, a holy silence pervaded the camp, heralding God's impending miracle. With the dawn came an unexpected revelation, a thin layer of dew upon the ground. As the sun's rays illuminated the dew's glistening form, it transformed into small, white flakes that the people called manna. Exodus chapter 16 verse 14. Under the awestruck gaze of mothers and fathers, the children marveled, reaching out to pick the strange food, asking, "What is this?" Moses declared, "It is the bread that the Lord has given you to eat." Exodus chapter 16 verse 15. Each bite was a reminder of God's faithfulness, a taste of divine provision that solidified an unbreakable bond between the Creator and His people, reinforcing their covenant identity amidst uncertainty. Yet, even amid divine provision, tests loomed. Moses instructed the Israelites to gather only what they needed for each day, save for the Sabbath. Exodus chapter 16 verses 16 to 23. Some, driven by doubt, hoarded more than required, only to find their excess spoiled with maggots by the next dawn. Exodus chapter 16 verse 20. This lesson in obedience echoed through their hearts, revealing the delicate interplay of trust and reliance on God. The weekly rhythm of the Sabbath became the cornerstone of their identity, drawing them closer as a community united in faith and love for the Lord, who provided daily sustenance in the barren wilderness. Frustration and longing surged through the encampment as the Israelites, unsatisfied with manna alone, again raised their voices in collective complaint. "If only we had meat to eat," they cried, their hearts echoing the gluttony of Egypt. Exodus chapter 16 verse 3. The noise of discontent stirred God's heart, yet He understood their yearning. In the quiet of dusk, He responded not with reprimand but with generous provision, declaring through Moses, "You shall eat meat in the evening." Exodus chapter 16 verse 12. The air thickened with anticipation, yet within that promise lurked a warning against the dangers of ingratitude and desire that led the people astray. That evening, a miraculous wind from the Lord swept across the landscape, bringing forth a cloud of quail. The air filled with the scent of flesh as the weary travelers prepared for the feast. Exodus chapter 16 verse 13. Children giggled with excitement while elders murmured fears of this unexpected blessing. Will it truly sustain us? They contemplated. Yet as they partook, God's generous heart shone through their grumbling. However, amidst this act of provision, divine justice unfurled. While the meat was yet between their teeth, before it was consumed, the anger of the Lord was kindled against the people. Exodus chapter 16 verse 20. Even as they feasted, the peril of their demands unfolded, revealing the bittersweet taste of unsatiated desires. As the quail departed, hunger transformed into a curse, a poignant reminder of the consequences that follow transgressing His divine will. "You have become loathsome to the Lord," echoed through the camp. Exodus chapter 16 verse 20. Each drop of rodent tears mingled with the blood of quail served as a dramatic contemplation for the future of their relationship with the Almighty. Through this moment, God sought not merely to feed His people but to shape their hearts, guiding them away from the bondage of fleshly demands toward the freedom of divine trust, leaving a legacy of nuance that spoke across generations. As the sun scorched the sands of Rephidim, the Israelites found themselves devoid of water, their spirits parched under the unyielding sky. Exodus chapter 17 verse 1. This was not merely a quest for physical sustenance. It echoed the inner thirst for the presence of God among them. Frantic, the people amassed around Moses, their voices a cacophony of fear and desperation. "Why did you bring us out of Egypt? To kill us and our children with thirst? Exodus chapter 17 verse 3. In their moment of deepest hostility, Moses sought solace in prayer, imploring God for guidance, a plea steeped with despair and divine reliance. God responded with serene wisdom, commanding Moses to take his staff and strike the rock at Horeb. Exodus chapter 17 verse 6. As Moses obeyed, with a mighty swing, water gushed forth, cascading down the parched earth in a torrent of abundance. "Behold, the living water," the elders declared, their faces aglow with reverence as torrents splashed at their feet. The sight united the people in overwhelming gratitude, not merely to Moses but to Yahweh, who was faithful to deliver them even in the midst of their rebellion. "Is the Lord among us or not?" they had questioned. Exodus chapter 17 verse 7. Yet in this moment of miraculous provision, their doubts began to dissolve, unveiling a tapestry of trust amidst the desert. However, the confrontation with Amalek soon followed, a reminder that trials still loomed as shadows in their journey. As the battle raged, Moses held his hands aloft, the staff raised in supplication to the divine. Exodus chapter 17 verse 11. With each droop of his weary arms, the tide turned against Israel, yet Aaron and Hur stood beside him, lifting his heavy hands until the setting sun heralded victory. Exodus chapter 17 verse 12. In this act of mutual support, the Israelites learned that their struggles were interconnected. Faith was not merely a solitary venture but a communal journey under God's watchful care, manifesting His grace through both the trials and triumphs of brotherhood. As the days turned into weeks, the encampment swelled with the burgeoning population of the Israelites, and with them arose the unavoidable complexities of leadership. Moses found himself faint, drowning under the weight of countless issues brought to him daily, where every dispute seemed to threaten the fragile order they had established. Exodus chapter 18 verse 13. As he sat in judgment, he witnessed his people wrangle over the minutiae of daily life, their cries echoing like the grumbling of the desert wind. Staring into the distant horizon, he recognized in the cumulus clouds his innate exhaustion and the flickering hope that a solution might soon materialize. Amidst this turmoil, his father-in-law, Jethro, arrived, his heart stirred with concern for the welfare of Moses and the people. Exodus chapter 18 verse 1. Jethro's keen eyes observed the strenuous burden upon Moses and approached him with a wise inquiry. "What is this that you are doing for the people?" Exodus chapter 18 verse 14. This act of listening was steeped in pastoral wisdom, as he expanded Moses's perspective, calling him to recognize the need for delegation and the empowerment of others to share the load of leadership. As Jethro encouraged Moses to appoint capable men to bear the weight of the smaller disputes, a new structure emerged, breathing life into a leadership markedly more sustainable. The counsel bore fruit. Moses heeded Jethro's advice, ordaining leaders who could handle matters of lesser importance. Exodus chapter 18 verse 25. The disbursement of responsibility ignited a fresh vigor among the people, as they engaged in their communal life with newfound hope. Yet, the most profound lesson involved the recognition that true leadership is not a burden to carry alone, but a tapestry woven through communal strength, collaboration, and divine guidance, forever shaping the governance of God's people. In Jethro's hand, the seeds of wisdom germinated into a blossoming community united under one purpose: the pursuit of holiness in their covenant journey. The trials and triumphs of the Israelites in the wilderness of sin are etched into the eternal narrative of salvation. Each miraculous provision of manna and quail became symbols of God's unwavering faithfulness, a reminder that even in our most desperate times, He knows our needs before we do. Matthew chapter 6 verse 8. The challenge to trust in the unseen, to rely not on worldly solutions but divine sustenance, echoes within the chambers of our hearts today, compelling us to meditate on our daily dependence upon God as our provider. The struggle for water at Rephidim highlights our inner thirst for spiritual renewal. Just as the rock yielded water at God's command, so too does the sacred source pour forth grace through Christ, who proclaims, "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink." John chapter 7 verse 37. Our thirst for righteousness, truth, and divine connection finds its fulfillment in Him, reminding us that therein lies our deepest satisfaction. This narrative bids us pause, encouraging introspection into what truly quenches the soul's longing amidst a parched world. Lastly, Jethro's wise counsel to Moses emphasizes the profound power of shared leadership and community in our faith journey. In a world where isolation is rampant, the call to bear one another's burdens prevails. God's design for His people invites collaboration, reminding us that no one is meant to carry the weight of life alone. The establishment of supportive relationships within the church reflects the essence of Christ's love. Galatians chapter 6 verse 2. As we weave these lessons into the fabric of our lives, we find that the journey in the wilderness still resonates today, uncovering truths that uplift, inspire, and guide us toward our ultimate home in the promised land of eternal communion with God.